SPT chose the map. Okay, so Curse Hollow is just fine. You know, just play it standard. Don't take any unnecessary risks. As long as you pick one of the old school standard battlegrounds in Heroes of the Storm, and you know you're the better team, I don't think there's much you can do wrong with it. If they went for, let's say, something like, I don't know, Battlefield of Eternity or Brex's Holdout, an inexperienced team can't take an early game lead and snowball from there.
Hold up. SPT have played on Cursed once over 3 seasons? How? How have they achieved this?
If I remember correctly, I mean, this could just be made up now, but I think SPT banned it a lot. And the map, to be honest, wasn't really that popular in China for a long time.
I guess, yeah. Hang on,
But it's kind of crazy, though.
Hang on, I'm sorting their maps. Cursed is one of their least played maps. The only ones that are below it are Towers of Doom, Warhead Junction, and Haunted Mines.
Well, Haunted Mines is not even in the map pool, so...
Yes, and this is all time. This is
of all time, okay.
Yes, that is... Yeah, wow. Everything else has played more.
So, potential Western teams, Korean teams, who are likely going to face SPT at BlizzCon.
Taking the Towers and Warhead.
Yeah. Take him to Towers, take him to Curse Hollow. Might be a good trip.
I like the fact you ignored the Warhead part of that sentence.
Nobody's gonna play that.
They might, we don't know. The Americans have been practicing it.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying NA has never played it. In fact, NA plays it more than EU. I think EU is just too scared, too chicken sometimes to try out new things. So, no disrespect, but some of the European pro players tend to be a little bit whiny every now and then when it comes to maps. Just saying.
Map research is definitely an important thing that a couple teams could do to improve with. Here is Arthas. Hello there, friend.
Solid.
Good start for the one.
Yep, the one definitely starting things strong here. And, I mean, on Curse Hollow, which is known to be a good Illidan map, you can never go wrong with just first picking Arthas. He's a solid warrior all around. He automatically shuts down a couple of threats, like a Greyman, for example, like an Illidan. So I think it's a very neutral and a very reasonable opening for the one.
More SPT going to respond with for that. Supports are available. They still have any assassin they want. They could go for specialists on this map. Fact is, we don't know. We don't have a huge amount of detail for them here.
Yeah, it's always tricky to cast those new teams who joined the league for the first time. Basically, in China, there is a league called the Silver League. This is, technically speaking, Gold League, HGC China. So, the equivalent to the Open Division in EU, Korea, and NA. And it's very hard for us to get any data, any information on it. But SPT, maximum disrespect, they don't care about that first pick Arthas. They say, you know what? We're going to make this Illidan work nonetheless. Easy peasy.
So, let's have a look here. Also, yeah, I've just checked. They have had 2 games on Cursed Hollow, apparently. But that includes the clashes and the mid-season brawl.
Gotcha. Cool.
With this current roster-ish, excluding Soap. Their shortest game was their average game length is about 13 minutes. They definitely like to end quick on this map.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. So, the one, what do they go for? Now, when an Illidan is picked early, the opposing team should always be mindful of not overcommitting to countering Illidan. Oftentimes, the Illidan is picked early just to confuse their opponents, and then, for example, forcing out heroes like Lily. Like, that's an extreme example, but it could happen. And then they're just going to go a completely different route, and then they're going to counter the counters of Illidan. So let's see. Sonya's definitely solid without being like too specific, too niche, and so is Tassiter. So I think it's a pretty good draft so far.
Very safe draft.
Yeah.
They've left themselves open for what their damage and their main support will be, so if they need cleanse, they can go for that. If not, a Stukov could come in for their healing numbers. They've left themselves very open.
So, in terms of banning, what do you want to get rid of? Me, personally, I would just ban something like Tracer. Okay, that works, just in case, you know, they don't want to deal with that feisty little girl from Great Britain at all. I mean, I was thinking of maybe banning Uther as well, but you are the first pick after all, and Uther pairs off really well with Illidan too, so you might as well leave that open.
But that would have also been pretty
Beautiful.
spectacular. Yeah. Big old map, and it's a It is a definite it's definitely an SPT style hero.
For sure. That would have added a lot of value to the Illidan babysit comp. They still have a couple of options. Uther, as I said, would be nice. Rhaegar, best buddies for life ever since Alpha. You can basically sum it up this way.
So, what are we going to see for them? They still need support, so best supports to work with Illidan who are still available. Rhaegar has not been removed, Uther's not been removed. They have all the potential, even Brightwing, still fairly reasonable. Double support even.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if you have a Turo in the mix, you can totally go for the Brightwing. I do not disagree here. Teams like Fnatic have shown us the power of Brightwing even before the Pixie Dust buff. So you can never underestimate Brightwing, basically. Alufal on CE showed us, last season, how strong she could be. Fnatic, Smexy plays her all the time.
Instead, we see the Ariel and the Valor to be the hope generator for it. Ariel still seeing play, despite the nerf, but might be good. As long as our Valor can stay alive and continue to be the damage dealer here, then they can get some good value out of it.
So, a couple of blinds might be nice now, because all that SPT has in terms of raw damage right now is physical based. True, Vala does have abilities that deal damage as well, but most of her damage still comes from auto attacks, especially in the later stages of the game. So going for blinds is definitely not something that would be terrible for them. They still have the Lily option. Lily plus Tassadar should be enough healing and support. They still have the Cassia, which I would love to see here actually.
There it is, Cassia and the Rhaegar to go with it. Big old burst healing.
Nice.
And like you said, the Cassia, very, very good.
So, let's see. The Cassia. For the first time, we saw her last season quite a bit. Now, what Cassia's drawback is, you know, she brings blinds, she brings good burst damage as well, so technically speaking, she's a wonderful hero. The biggest drawback, though, is her short attack range. Compared to other ranged assassins, she needs to get a little bit closer, and against heroes like Illidan, or now Uther, and even a Vala with a Rain of Vengeance, this could get punished quite hard, don't you think?
It really could. They need to play this very safe. Remember, there is a big old front line in the form of Arthas and even Sonya in the way of that Cassia. So as long as Cassia stays behind them and just relies on Tass and Rhaegar to keep her alive, she can deal with Illidan pretty easily by herself. So it's very much down to the front liners to just sustain, stay alive, and give her time.
The cool thing about Cassia as well, of course, is the fact that she comes in with an innate blind, and she can even top that if she goes for the respective talent at level 7, called, just give me a moment here, called, excuse me, it's level 4 actually, Inner Light. Whenever she gets stunned, an instance of her blind is going to get spawned, and just think of the hunt. Automatic blind seems pretty good, man.
Indeed it does. Big fan of that personally as well, very much behind it. We'll see if that's what they go for. The thing is, though, with that, you miss out on Ring of the Leech, but you have Tass on your side. Do you need it?
Yeah, it's a fair point. Does she need it, or is she going to go for the more standard Ring of the Leech, which basically gives her Life Leech at level 4? We're going to find out just in a bit as the teams are getting ready here. SPT, the current Chinese champions, unfortunately, kind of disappointed at the Eastern Clash once again because of player issues and visa issues. Hopefully, at some point, maybe BlizzCon, we're going to see them in their full glory at an international tournament.
We can hope so. You know what I'd like to see a return of? Gold Cup.
Yeah, that was an awesome tournament.
Cool. Same. One of those, please. Let's see if they will get on it at some point. Neo TV will be on it. For now, let's head into the second game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cursed Hollow. The one on the left, Hugo on Sonya, Lucky on Tassadar, Meg on Cassia, Zyran on Rhaegar, and is playing the Arch.
And currently leading 1-0 is SPT. Guanzhao on that Vala. Melody C plays Uther. Misaka is on the Illidan. Okay, Soap is on Turiel. And ZZH on the Oriel. And I can't recall the last time I saw Misaka on a melee assassin like Illidan.
He hasn't, and this is the point. We've been talking about this, where Soap is taking over the main tank role, which opens up flexibility. They sort of seem to be sharing the duties, where sometimes we'll still see Soap playing a Falstad, whereas sometimes we will see, well, just the crazy stuff like Misaka on the Illidan, but we're going to see more and more of it this season. That's exciting. Careful, Melody C.
Careful, indeed. Now we have the charge strikes available for Meng on the Cassia. That alone can deal terrible, terrible damage onto SPT, especially if they tend to clump up, which with a Turiel could very well happen. So dropping in early Sanctification might be really, really crucial here when it comes to surviving those team fights. For now, though, we have Guanzhao on the Vala and ZZH on his babysitter on the Oriel here, just sieging up very casually a 3-man lane with Melody C in the mix as well. Dropping a heal too. Only 15 armor. That tells you that the life patch has been applied because Uther's trait, the armor trait, has been nerfed ever so slightly.
Yes, it has. So, lots of poke damage, just working down this front wall, already taking down the first tower of the game. Good job, SPT. Bot lane, though, suffering similar pressure. Already losing a tower, too.
Yeah, already losing a tower, and Misaka cannot really deal with Sonya plus Tassadar. I mean, a Sonya by herself is already quite the obstacle for Illidan to overcome. Add a Tassadar in there, and you're probably not going to have a good time at all. So all he needs to do right now is just hold the lane, make sure that the fort doesn't fall, and of course soak the minion XP. That's all his team can ask for him. However, if you keep Illidan busy like that, the team needs to rotate a little bit around the 2nd minute mark, because he is actually supposed to be the one who takes the mercenary camp. So SPT right now, they need to rotate. They need to send someone in that bottom lane if they want to get the Siege Giants.
If they do, they want to hurry up. We see Illidan is going to be the one rotating to get the Siege Giants, but who is going to get them for the one? Looks like it is going to be Rhaegar. Once again, Rhaegar can solo camps, but it takes him a very long time and loses a lot of health. As such, is Cassie going to join? No. So it's going to be him doing it alone.
Misaka needed to go back. He couldn't go for the mercenary camp because he realized, hey, we're going to lose that fort otherwise, and that's an early game bonus we don't want to give to the one. Turiel now also joining the fray here to defend it. But already so much delay for SPT. They're not going to have a mercenary camp ready, whereas the one who sent Rhaegar to deal with them did get them. So pretty sweet early game rotations and lane setup for the one.
And while Tyrael has been in this bottom lane trying to defend, no one was in mid lane. Arthas was soaking unattended. Finally, Uther has rotated down. Cassia, though, had to leave top, so it evened out a little. As such, that fort dropped very, very low. So it looks like we're going to just see an early fort for a fort trade.
Yeah, fort for a fort. And it's pretty cool for both teams because both teams are pushing their golem lane, or their boss lane, excuse me. Respectively.
Not what we like to see, which is not what we see in my, too often. What I would like to see more often, but most teams seem to just push the other lanes. They think it's less expected. These teams have apparently mind-gamed each other to the point where they've actually been able to push the more preferable lane.
And now this is exactly what we were talking about. The Siege Giants are knocking at the front door, providing a little bit of additional damage onto Guanzhao as well. And now they have to fight on 2 fronts, PvE and PvP, both at the same time. This should be the one's tribute here. Very nice early lead.
Looking for it. Melody was thinking about poking in. Oh, denied by the Hungering Arrow.
Oh my goodness.
Lucky bounce.
Yeah, lucky bounce. A little bit of RNG in Heroes of the Storm as well.
Nice. Denial again. They're not trying to cap this. They're trying to delay this because Illidan is pushing a bot from the other side. So cheeky.
Didn't even see it coming. And look at the one. They're starting to lose experience. They do not have someone in the side lane to deal with Illidan. And they get it.
Yeah, they were able to pick up the tribute. Wow, because level 7 advantage. Nicely done, SPT.
The constant poke and harass really paid off dividends here, throwing down an Eldrain's Might. Vala, of course. Guanzhao was my MVP here. Like, of course, the Hungering Arrow bounce was a little bit lucky, but then the multi-shot as well from an unexpected angle, really making sure that so much time was bought for the rest of his team. Just really well played. By the way, look at Tassador's build. We see the colors light, providing armor, so we don't have the traditional life leech build.
And as such, it is Ring of the Leech coming in for Cassia, due to the fact she does not have that life leech from Tassadar, so she needs it from herself. Sonya with extra whirlwind cooldown reduction, Uther not going with stun cooldown reduction, so it's just going to be down to regular CC to interrupt that whirlwind.
Exactly, and it's really cool to highlight as well that Melody C went for Holy Shock at level 4, and normally you're like, hey, why would you go for that? But whenever you need to harass enemies, and especially if you can complete Silver Light at level 1, giving you additional range on your Qs, you can keep them in check for almost an eternity. And those are really just the small details that can really come out big on a map like Curse Hollow, where it's sometimes all about stalling, all about being patient and annoying. So cool build variation and adaptation from Melody C, who's, in my opinion, one of the best players in the league.
Would definitely agree, and he's trying to turn it round. Are they going to be able to deny it once again and maybe get a sneaky cap? No, they can't. The tribute is taken, but the kills are going over to SPT, already grabbing one, looking for a second, chasing down, and they pick him up. Hugo is dropped as well, and we will see Lucky able to escape thanks to the dimensional shift, but unfortunately the rest of his team did not have one of those.
I love you, man. No, as a die-hard MJ fan, I appreciate that every time it comes out. And once again, I think we have to take a minute to appreciate Chinese pro players' nicknames, because they're sometimes just so entertaining.
If it helps, not all of them are winners. I've been trying all game to try and think of a way to work in Victor Hugo's name, but I'm really struggling.
I mean, I forgot the name, which takes a little bit of the coolness of my joke that I want to make here. But isn't the actor of Mr. Smith, or Agent Smith in Matrix, also called Hugo? Hugo Weaving. So maybe you can do like a Mr. Anderson impression.
I don't know if I can do his voice. We'll try it later if I can come up with a joke in time. Hunt used to the top lane, as Illidan is just clearing the lane up here right now, trying to defend against this onslaught.
Alright, so in the meantime, we see Arthas in the bottom lane getting absolutely demolished by Uther and Vala. Not even the D-explosion can save him here from Cassia. Meng, unfortunately forced to retreat. Level 10 is not yet there, and the boss is going to say hello to those towers and the gates, and I'm not sure if they want to make acquaintance to that guy.
Indeed, they don't want to. Boss finally getting taken out before any keep damage is taken. Single siege charge is remaining. Medici could have healed that on the way out. Once again, just wanted to save mana.
Yep, I wanted to save a little bit of mana there. We now have level 10 online for TheOne. It's pretty sweet.
Is holding. There we go, Raph.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean,
why would you tease us?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, with that new Death Knight skin on Sonya, Wrath of the Berserker is going to look amazing. I'm not sure if you saw it yet.
I am not.
Well, if you haven't, you can check out my video on YouTube. But no, for real though, it looks really awesome. It looks quite nice. I think it's one of the prettiest skins we've had in Heroes of the Storm for a long time. I prefer it even over the Dreadlord Jaina.
All of them look quite good to me. I'm a fan. I like the Star Lord, Star Emperor Kel'Thuzad, quite frankly. I think it looks great. As we do see SPT moving into position to try and hold the line, but the onslaught of Sonya and Arthas as they try to take position.
Yeah, they're a little bit split though. One half of the team of SPT is in the top hand side of that horseshoe, and the other three are in the bottom. So they need to sort of reunite themselves, and that is oftentimes easier said than done. But they have that level 13 advantage, and they're using it in a team fight.
Sanctification, and this is just a distraction. This isn't even an intentional team fight because Misaka's sneaking the tribute. They lose Tyrael, Misaka comes in.
Oh, the explosion!
Zyran taking so much damage. The explosion did some okay damage, but it might not be enough. Currently, it is 2 for 1 in favor of SPT. Make that 3.
Oh, boy.
And even Ariel survives. That energized cord, keeping her energy high, and they sustain through. That is a 5 for 1 in favor of SPT and the Curse.
And at the worst possible time, do they get a team wipe here for TheOne, because the Curse had just been activated. All the lanes are getting pushed in. Bottom keep is going to say bye-bye, and the middle one doesn't really look any better. But did you see that beautiful combination of the Tyrael sacrificing his own life on purpose, just so that Illidan's the Hunt could lock someone down, and they made them pay for it. So that was absolutely beautifully done by SPT.
Yeah, the nice bait there, using Sanctification as a distraction while Illidan grabbed the point. Then Hunt for the engage. They're now looking for Zyran. dropping huge damage, and he gets taken out. That damage, the bursting light from Cassia, able to guarantee that kill. Good sustain from here, keeping himself alive as he pulls back. But down goes to Keep. 2 keeps down in that one curse phase. Maybe 3. They want another.
Man.
And they'll get it as well.
Yeah, man. Hey Hey's nickname was built and made for you. Having that sweet British accent as well, going for the triple hair. Beautifully done and well played. But, you know, that doesn't change...
Hey, that's like the chicken from Moana, right?
Doesn't change the fact, though, that all 3 keeps have been demolished around the 10-minute mark, and whenever that happens, you know you're in trouble.
Nice. Yep. Look at this. Illidan just turns around, channels the thing. Sanctification for a lovely delay. Uther even Divine Shields. And then Tyrael knows he's going to die.
Yeah.
Illidan hunting onto Rhaegar, stunning him into the explosion, and then isolates him and finishes him off. Beautifully controlled. ZZH sustaining through with self-healing. Wonderfully done. And there's another fight happening, and Zyran is having deja vu as he gets taken out here. Misaka is getting pulled out. Hugo, is he the one? No, he is Mr. Anderson, did it, as he moves forward, trying to find the opportunity. But the rest of SPT's too high health. There's no chance. And they get another full team wipe. There's actually Siege Giants on the core, and that's going to be GG, unless they all manage to throw.
And just in case you're once again wondering, oh my god, why are those guys fighting 4 levels down? Oh my god, is this really HGC? Come on, I could do that better. I'm silver, but I could play on that stage. No, they needed to go for this fight because they were so far behind once again, just like in map 1. There was no way of them ever catching up in a normal game. They had to go for the Hail Mary. It didn't work because SPT was just too good. And they take this game 2-0. Well, that's the Chinese champions we were expecting yesterday. Unfortunately, they took a little bit longer than expected to show up, but boy, am I glad that they finally did.
I like that your audience questioning voice is just a California Valley girl. Like, oh my god, I cannot believe they took that team fight. So unacceptable. But yes, well done SPT. And they move up to the top of the table with Soa. Nicely done. And TheOne, unfortunately, moved down to the bottom of the table with Hot Lady.